They're not your friend. Are you wondering, is this person my friend? They're not your friend. They're very critical of you behind your back. They make fun of you behind your back. You know, they're very judgmental of you, not to your face, behind your back. I'm being shown that this person comes to you and they always want to ask you questions like, what's going on with this? And what's going on with this in your life? And what's happening here and there and all around? But they never ask you how you are. They never say, hey, how are you? They never do. It's always like, what's up with this situation? Or you still talk to this? Like, how's this going? How's that relationship going? What are you doing with this? And the reason why they don't ask you how you are is because they don't want to know how you are. They don't want to know. They don't want to know if you're doing well. They don't want to know if you're succeeding at some place in your life. They're looking for things to continue to judge you about. Or they just want your attention. Also, so maybe they'll come to you and like I need advice on this, or they want your attention on something like that. Or they're asking you all these other questions, but they don't want to know if you're doing well, because that makes them feel bad about the fact that they are not doing well. I'm seeing that this person identifies as being like a victim, or they identify as being like a sick person. Maybe they have a lot of wounding in them. They do not love themselves. And maybe as a child, they only got attention when they were sick. And so now that they've grown up as an adult, they identify as being a sick person. And they've manifested a lot of things for themselves, a lot of illnesses, a lot of sicknesses, and things like the doctors, like I see they go in and out of the doctor all the time, and the doctor's like, like, I can't find anything wrong, or I don't know, I can't help you, but they just insist on they're very sick. And this is like an emotional thing. This is like mind over matter. And maybe I think at one point you guys did bond. Maybe you could relate to each other. You had both been through difficult situations that you could talk to each other and you could understand each other. But then you went on to heal. You went on, you did the work. And this person was like, oh, it's not that easy. It's not that easy. I can't do it. And saying it's not that easy is code for I'm not ready. When somebody's like, when you offer somebody like an alternative to, or like when you offer somebody instructions or guidance on how to improve their life, and they're like, it's not that easy, they're letting you know, I'm not ready to do this yet, okay? Because no, it's not easy, but it doesn't mean you can't do it, And that's the thing, like, you have worked through many different issues in your life, and it wasn't easy. These are some of the most difficult issues, but you dug deep and you persevered and you pushed through. Like, you didn't let other people tell you how you were going to feel or how you were going to act. You decided for yourself, you think for yourself, and then you you followed through, and it took time. I'm seeing your progress didn't happen overnight, but you have a lot of discipline. And again, once you make your mind up about something, you've got a lot of willpower and you push through, even if it takes a while. So you have that perseverance. But this person is so different. This person identifies as being a sick person. They identify as being in victim mode. And I'm not saying that they weren't a victim of things, because they were a victim. But it's like they built their whole identity around being a victim and not wanting to help themselves in any way. And I do see that they choose situations that make them feel bad. They purposely do things that they know are going to make them feel bad. It's like this person has a lot of drama going on in their life. And so they'll like connect or hook up with somebody that's like really toxic for them, and then they'll run and they'll come to you and they'll be like, you know, they want to complain about all the things this person did to them, all the horrible things. And then, you know, you'd like give them advice and you'd be like, oh my God, you can't like tolerate that. No, you got to get away from this person. Don't, no. But this person will just run back, and if it's not them, they'll find another person. Like they just like, they look for like somebody that's, and this again, it boils down to they don't love themselves. They don't like themselves, and they're punishing themselves. And again, also they do things like, so if they have physical issues, like say they have like a gut problem and they know that they can't eat certain foods, they'll purposely go out and eat all of those foods over and over and over to the point where they need to be taken to the ER. And then the ER is like, well, we can't really help you. You know, we can give you some pain meds, or we can give you some of this, but it doesn't really help them. And then they're like a victim of that situation. So it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad because you know, this person deserves to have a healthy life. They deserve to have love. They deserve to love themselves and to feel good. But they don't want it for themselves. And when somebody doesn't want that for themselves, you can't force them. And I am seeing that, like, maybe you used to get frustrated, or maybe you got frustrated with them because you'd be giving them all this advice and you'd be like trying to love on them and trying to help them, and they didn't want it. And I'm seeing that there's distance there, and maybe you were wondering, like, did I make a mistake putting distance there? You didn't make a mistake putting distance. The person's not your friend. See, this person only sees the old version of you. This new version that you are, they don't see it. And that's what they make fun of. Like something you're into. Maybe you're into some new type of spirituality, or you have a new hobby, or something that you're doing for work. Something that you do, something that's very important to you, that has been a huge benefit to you. Maybe you speak your mind about something. Whatever it is that you do, this person's like in denial. They're like, nah, they're not, that's not real, nah, they're still this, they're still that, they're still this. And you're not. You're not. They just can't see you for who you are right now. And like, they're not going to be able to go with you on this journey down your pathway for your purpose. Like, this is somebody you do have to let go of. And you might have let go of them, but maybe they do reach out to you from time to time, or you speak to them from time to time. Maybe you reach out to them on special occasions, like their birthday or holiday or something. But I'm seeing you don't, like, if you speak to them, it's because they reached out to you and you didn't reach out to them. And again, they use that. See, this is the type of person that, like, if you're on social media, they watch all your, like, they're like the first one to watch your stories. They watch everything, but they never like it. They see all your posts, but they never like it. They never comment. They're always watching you, watching, but they're never supporting you in any way. And they actually have passed a lot of judgment on the fact that you walked away from certain people for your own well-being. And now you know, and I know, and God knows, that you had to walk away from those people for your own well-being. And it doesn't matter if it was your family, confirmation. It doesn't matter if it was your family or a friend or an ex-partner or a work situation. You walked away from that situation to save yourself. You had enough. God was like, no more. God could have taken that trash out, or you could have just been like, I can't deal with this. Like, you saw it very clearly, and you were like, I gotta put myself first. Maybe it was making you sick. You walked away, and well, this person heavily judges you for that. If it was like family you walked away from, they're like the type of people to be like, but it was your family, but it was your mom, but it was your father, but it was your, sibling. How could you do your family like that? Blood is thicker than water. They have that type of mentality. Meanwhile, that type of mentality keeps a person sick. That type of mentality keeps a person engaging and enabling dysfunction when that's not what we need to do, okay? If situation's affecting your well-being, then you need to take care of your well-being and move away from that situation. So you made the right choices. You made the right choices. This person is not your friend. And that's the point. So you might be, maybe you teeter back and forth. They're not your friend. That's it. That's what's the guidance coming through. Maybe you need to hear that confirmation or validation. Maybe you suspect it. Like, it's almost like you're receiving their thoughts telepathically and you're defending yourself. You're receiving their judgments of you and you're defending yourself. You don't need to defend yourself. You're fine. You're good. This person is like viewing you from a very unhealthy perspective, a perspective that keeps them stuck in a very unwell cycle. They're never going to be able to offer you the support that you need. And something scary that is kind of coming through is like almost this person might be a mental health professional. Which I'm not saying that they can't offer other people advice and be helpful to other people. But then you reach a point where you got to practice what you preach, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying that mental health professionals cannot have their own issues that they grapple with. Most of the time, people who go into the mental health field do so because they have experienced something and they want to help others. So I'm not saying that you have to be healed and perfect to be a mental health professional. But this person is very sick. And it's almost like the quality of the advice that this person can give is limited to a certain degree because of their own ignorance and unwillingness to address certain issues within themselves, okay? That's all I'm saying. I'm just talking about this specific person. I'm not like generalizing, okay? But yeah, they're not your friend. And they do, it's almost like they base how they feel about you. How they feel about you is based on what you give to them. And the fact that you don't reach out to them anymore and that the only time that you speak is when they reach out to you is just another reason for them to like boo about you. They're very critical of you. And they try to convince other people that what they see and think about you is the truth. But people don't care. People know people know this person's not. Yeah. So, you made the right choice. That's it. You made the right choice. I'm proud of you for putting your well-being first. For walking away from dysfunctional people. That's really hard to do, especially when it's family. So many people don't understand how difficult that is. Like, that's your world. That's everything that you knew. And people do not estrange themselves from their family for no reason. Okay? People don't walk away from family because they were treating them well, because they were good to them. People walk away from family because they were not good to them, because they were not treating them well, because they were, mistreating them and affecting their well-being. So you made the right choice. And you made the right choice because you've come a long way. But with this specific person who's still kind of popping in and out, maybe you teeter back and forth, there's your confirmation. They're not your friend. Okay? So stay private. Don't tell them things because they're always fishing around for information from you. Don't give them anything. And that's that. I love you so much. God loves you so much. We love you so much. Your spirit team loves you so much. And you got good energy. There are going to be a lot of people that want to use you and want to take some of that. But You just trust your gut and use your discernment. And God won't steer you the wrong way. So that's that. Yeah, that's it. Okay? I'm sending you so much love. I'm sending you so much healing energy if you want it. So many blessings, so much peace, and like good luck. Okay, I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.